You. Oh.
Good evening.
Hey everyone. My computer was glitching, so I started it and it was messing up again, so I stopped it. I don't know. This thing's been going crazy the last couple times I've tried to start a Zoom call. Give it a few more seconds. Let people on. There's just I know a lot of people are on spring break this week, so might not be as big of a crowd. Hola, hey Jess.
Hey.
Just giving it a couple minutes, get people situated. Pinata, I feel like I haven't seen your face in forever. Welcome.
Finally, I was determined to make it.
We're glad you're here. So it's probably going to be a quiet one. A lot of people are on spring break, so I know that there's some of our usuals that will probably not make it tonight unless they're late. Asia, long time no see. Hilarious. We were at the movies together on Monday. We had a pre-screening of Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It was really cute. Really
so
cute. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Oh.
Lots of laugh out loud moments. So it was really cute. All right. Like I said, it's probably going to be a small crowd, so I don't know who else is coming. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We are talking about The Neighbor Favor by Kristina Forrest. Y'all know this is right up my alley, it being romance. Yeah, so cute. I mean, I try not to overdo it with romance, but I know a lot of us really like romance too at the same time. So, you know, I throw a couple in here and there throughout the year. But this one was really cute. I really liked the way that it started off with the emails. Like, I thought that was really interesting piece of the story to have them kind of get to know each other. They're on different parts of the world and get to know each other through these emails, and his identity is hidden. But you know, they still are connecting and getting to know each other through these emails. So I thought that was really cool. And then as it builds up, you're like, oh, this chemistry, you know, Lily always talks about she doesn't have good luck with meeting people, and it's like it's finally gonna happen. So he agrees to FaceTime her so they can get to know each other, and then all of a sudden he's just ghost. And it's like, and the crazy part is like, what was it, like 6 months or something crazy like that they just had gone by and hadn't talked to each other. I'd be pissed if I was her and just got ghosted.
Yeah.
So what were y'all's general thoughts of the book?
I wanted to strangle Nick, but I liked it.
I think we all did. Yeah.
Because, you know, I really enjoyed the book. I'm from North Carolina, so a few things I was like, and I'm not an editor or anything, but some of the things like caught me, like, I'm like, we don't say UNC Chapel Hill campus, we say Carolina. So I was like, why did she say that? But little stuff like that. But I really enjoyed the book. But I was like, okay, when we get to page 300, if Nick hasn't said something, I'm done with this book. I am not going to read 400 pages and he's still BSing. So I was glad that he finally told his truth.
Yeah. I just wish he had told it sooner. He took a long time to finally get that. I'm like, just tell her.
It was page 2, and I laughed so hard because I had said, I'm giving this book to 300. They need to get the moving, because I was like, okay, enough already.
Yeah, and you could kind of, you know how romance novels always start. It's the, you know, friends to or enemies to friends, or lovers or enemies to lovers, however it starts off, and then everything is good, and you know that turbulence is going to come somewhere in the book.
And like so, 75% every time.
And that's the thing. And I'm like, okay, can we just get over being mad at each other and just finally get back together? Because you know that's what's going to happen. So I was kind of happy that this didn't last too long in the book. Some romance novels just kind of dwell on, you know, them being
felt like
apart
it,
and being angry.
I felt like it did though.
You
Like
did?
for them to finally just be like, okay, it was like 70%. I'm like, how much more
For
do
him
we
to
have?
tell her? Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
them to finally just, yeah.
I like the book, and I just recently got turned on to her as an author. And this is her first book that she wrote that wasn't a YA book. Like I recently just read like almost all her catalog the last couple of months. And this one, I will say, it took her a while to get to the point because in her other books, like she gets to the point, like you get there, of course they break up, then they get back together, but you get there a lot faster than you did in this book. I did appreciate it though, because I figured it was gonna probably take a little bit. I felt like she was trying to build up the background characters because she is developing books about all of the sisters. So I felt like this first book took so long because we had to see everybody's personalities and their quirks, because now she's going to write, she wants us to be interested in the other stories or whatever. The only thing that I did not like was she told us about Nick. We knew that he had all of these issues, but we didn't really go into the issues. Like,
Right.
we knew his mom, his dad, but then that was it. It was like, no, tell me more about that. But I thought it was a good book though.
Right. And I was excited to see at the end of the book that she actually had written some of Violet's story that's coming next. So I don't know if y'all caught that towards the end. I haven't read it yet, but I'm intrigued. I'm also intrigued for Iris's story though too, because it seems like her and Angel are gonna be a thing as well. So that should be interesting. But Violet's story should be interesting too, her coming off of the engagement and things like that too. So yeah, I like both sisters. I think Iris really intrigued me. Being a single mom and you know, losing her husband and things like that. I think she'll have an interesting storyline too.
I kind of got, when thinking about Violet and her situation with her fiance, it didn't seem right to me with their whole relationship from the very beginning. And I was like, it's something going on there.
Yeah, same.
So,
I felt something was off. Couldn't pinpoint what it was, but something was definitely off. I agree.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
As I was reading, I was like, oh wow, another romance that I actually enjoy.
We're gonna convert you, Bernadette.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's still skeptical. Hilarious. The other fascinating part, I guess, or the character that irked me was her boss Edith. Like so many times I just wanted her to get up and quit. I'm like, why are you putting up with this? Like the fact that you need to stop what you're doing in your free time to go across town to bring her business cards to some event because she's not responsible enough. And then what were some of the other things? Was it
And she didn't say
printing her
thank you.
emails? No, at all.
Yeah.
Was I the only person who envisioned Edith as a white lady? I
Yes,
didn't
of
think
course.
that.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
of
no.
course.
Yeah, her father owned the publishing company or whatever it was. Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
reading
Hey,
another
it
book
was
where
a
the
black
boss
woman too.
acted similarly and it irked my nerves.
Wasn't
Is it Mame? Was I reading Mame? Yeah, Mame. Sorry.
okay. I
Yeah.
haven't read that one. No, I was just trying to think of horrible bosses. Another one that I remember there being tension was the Perfect Find. She had tension because, you know, her boss's son and all that kind of stuff. There was tension there too. I'm gonna reread that one this summer before the Netflix series comes out too. But yeah.
I'm not a big romance reader, but being with Renee, I'm becoming a romance reader.
Converting
And
y'all.
you're converting me. I love my fiction, but now you're converting me. But can I tell you, just as a lover of books and a lover of love, the fact that they went on those dates and he was like, give me your favorite book. I was like, let me go stand in Barnes and Nobles and hope somebody tell me what's your favorite book.
Right. Yeah, in a fantasy world, because I'm like, how many times have I been to the bookstore? Nobody be talking to you. They be in their
Right.
own little world, not paying nobody any attention. Be in their books. I did also like Henry and Yolanda's too. Their storylines. It was well, I think it was hilarious when Nick woke up drunk in her apartment and didn't have underwear on, and he was like, "What the hell just happened? Like, did I sleep with Yolanda?" And you know, she's just in there, oh cool, oh okay, I washed your clothes, whatever. Like, she's just cool, not saying nothing about anything. I was like, awkward.
So why in my head, for some reason, Henry, you remember from the 80s, the first karate, the little short Asian guy?
Yeah.
For some reason I pictured that was Henry.
Hilarious. That's hilarious. And it's funny because, Nick started to put together who Lily was, and I was wondering if Lily would finally piece together who he was, like with some of the things he was saying, but she never did until after he told her, and she's like, "Oh, this makes so much sense." But I'm like, I wish he would have just told her.
Like when he ghosted her and like she didn't, because it seemed like, I don't know, maybe something's wrong with me, but like she didn't even get on Google to try to see who he was, like, travel world. It just seemed like,
Yeah, I mean, I know myself, I'm like a Google person. I'm going to try to dig and see what comes up, and you got mugshots, something. And even the fact that when they did meet and they were dating, like his last name never came up for her to put like 2 and 2 together. Oh, I feel like I've met you in a past life before, but like his last name never came up in conversation.
Did
Where
he
like
have
in
a
our
last name? What was his last name? I don't know what his last
Strickland, because in the emails it was
His
he went
real
by.
last name was Strickland.
I think so.
Oh.
I assume so. I guess the book really didn't say any different, so I wouldn't know if maybe that was a fake last name.
I don't feel like it was though, because remember he came up with the name so his daddy couldn't find him. So I don't see
That's
him
true.
having a last
Anything
name.
close to his name. That makes sense. Yeah.
they just said N.R. Strickland, then Nick. So they really, they never did say
What it was. That's why I was like, maybe, but I was like, yeah, you would think that she would be able to put 2 and 2 or something, a piece of mail in his house. I don't know.
He
But
didn't
she
even
never.
have his house.
What'd you say? Oh,
He didn't even
furniture.
have furniture in his house. He had
I
like
know.
a blanket, and that was it.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot of it was so unreal to him. And it's like, when is this going to be taken away from me? And just a lot of, trauma with his dad. His dad was something awful.
Yeah.
Like picking him up early from school to like help him be a con man. Like it was just awful. And then his mom just going along with it.
And you could tell it was supposed to be more to his story just by how he had the best friend who was his publisher when he pulled her to the side and said, "Don't you hurt him." And so I was waiting for like more to spill out. And that was the only part that really left me wanting more. Like, okay, because I'm like, he had to have had some other relationships. There had to have been some other failures, and we just didn't hear about it at all.
Now that you say that, I mean, a lot of, I'm trying to think, like the 50 Shades of Grey series, like the originals are obviously written from her perspective, but then there's also a spin that's written from his perspective. This is actually a book that I wouldn't mind having it written from his perspective so we can see how he feels about the emails, how he feels about the communication, learn a little bit more about his story and his past. I think that would be interesting. Dig into it, his past life, his past relationships, things like that.
I was hoping that towards the end there would be an engagement. So I was kind of like, oh, they're not gonna get engaged. It was around Christmas time. So I was just like, okay, this is it. But
we never got it.
I was hoping the same thing. And I think I went ahead and read Violet's part, hoping, that she'd be getting ready for her sister's like wedding or something, that would mention that, but they didn't. But yeah,
actually, that's actually not a bad take, because I mean, Jasmine Guillory's done that, right? The wedding party. We've had other things happen. Maybe an Iris's story.
I didn't read Violet's excerpt.
I didn't either.
I was thinking, I was like, okay, she's not gonna do it because Violet is just coming off of this thing. She might make it a reason for Violet's story, like something to be around, something for Violet to be like, oh, I'm against it. I already told you, F marriage, blah, blah, blah. Like make that a conflict, like their engagement in her story, and then her coming full circle from her party to falling in love with somebody again.
Yeah.
That was how my mind was working on it.
Yeah. It's very interesting too, her sisters as matchmakers and things like that. And no one thought to like they wanted to match Lily up all the time, but well, I guess I mean Iris did kind of go through losing her husband, so it's like take your time and heal from that before you just get pushed. Because I was like, nobody else was really pushing for Iris to be in a relationship, but I mean, yeah, it makes sense if she's still healing from losing her husband. That could be hard, but definitely intrigued to read both of their stories.
I kept thinking too when I was reading, my mind just wonders when they have kids, what other flower names they were gonna come up with. Just thought that
Rose,
like,
sunflower.
The grandmother was Rose.
right, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, well, what other flower names can they use? Because they use just
Poppy.
about
Daffodil.
Poppy. Yeah, there you go.
Daisy.
Yeah,
Lavender.
Daisy. Lavender's not a bad one either.
Tulip.
Right. But come up with children and sisters for days. The whole family have flower names.
right.
I also liked how they kind of set up that family barbecue for him to be there too, and like that whole, his interaction like with the family made me like him even more, and how he was with can't even remember her name, but Iris's daughter. Like he was so sweet with her, and really seemed to get along with the family, and the family really took to him pretty easily. Seemed like.
I also had the family be like professionals, like not necessarily overachievers, but I like that they were, that they, made it seem like this family tried their best. They were all trying to succeed, but then they still got together and they were extremely close, like it sounded like a old school family reunion when they was having a little fashion show and everything. I was like, oh, that was a cute little spin to it, instead of just, her and her sisters. It included the whole family. I like that whole little twist to it too.
I like how they write these characters into publishing and into the book world, because it makes it all the more interesting for me. I'm not sure if y'all have read Jasmine Guillory's By the Book, but that one's based on, Beauty and the Beast. It's like the remake of it, but she's also in publishing as well, which is really cool. Spin to stories.
Another publishing, somebody else was in something we read last year.
I've seen some books that have like book stuff, like bookstores and stuff in the title, but I've not read those yet. But I do like that they incorporate books and things. Like, actually, I really like how this one actually included titles of books too, because she would talk about some stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I've heard or read that book too, so that was kind of cool.
Somebody was, I'm gonna look, keep talking.
Was it the Baker? No, it wasn't the Baker one. I'm trying to think of what. Was it a romance novel?
I feel like it was. Wait, I'm going to my past.
Thinking about the publishers and the books and things. I kept wanting to look up the Elves of Ceradon to see if it was actual series, the one that she was. I Googled, it's not real.
But what you said with that, I like that she made their genre be a fantasy genre, which you don't typically, like, just in recent, I didn't even realize there was so many like Black authors in fantasy. So for her to put that in there, I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I just started, because like I just got Bloodborne and Beast of Prey and some other books. And I was like, oh, this is really making me hyped to hurry up and start reading those, because it's about fantasy.
And I'm not a fantasy reader by any means, but actually the Black fantasy that I've actually read, I actually really enjoyed. Like you mentioned, Beast of Prey, that was really good. I had to do a partnership with Penguin Teen, I think it is, last year. And that's the sole reason why I read the book, was for the partnership with them. But I actually really loved it. And I need to read the sequel, because that came out, I think, last year as well. But Children of Blood and Bone, another one. Like, I don't gravitate towards that genre, but they're the ones that I've read have been good. The only one, there's one that I didn't really care for, and I can't think. Akata Witch, maybe. I think I read the first one, and I just really didn't love it as much as I some of the others. But yeah, I've really not been too disappointed with that genre.
It might have been 7 Days in June that I was thinking about.
Oh, yes. That was a good
Mhm.
one. I love 7 Days in June. So many good ones. Any other thoughts? I feel like all
Girl,
these.
I'm coming. Talisa. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Hey, you're fine. Hey. Oh, is she
Yeah,
talking
I'm
to us?
coming.
She talked to herself. Yeah, she just put herself back on mute. I was like, uh. Yeah, all my books are kind of running together. I read a lot in March, and fortunately, this was only one book ago for me, but having a hard time keeping up with books and what I've read last. But this one was really cute. Was light and fun.
I did like it a lot, and I was glad at some point in there they mentioned therapy, that he was in therapy, because I'm like, yes,
Yes.
he needs some. But just even thinking about just the generational trauma, like that grandfather was really what kicked it all off,
Mhm.
and just not want, the abandonment and all those issues that just trickle down into all the way down. But
Yep.
that he has found he didn't feel like he could break it. And I've heard guys say that before, like, I'm not good enough for you, blah, blah, blah. And I just took it as a line. But
Right.
I see, how someone could really feel that way. Like, I'm going to do to you. It's inevitable that I'm going to hurt you in some
Right.
way, because that's all I know.
Yeah,
Is
breaking the
disappointment.
cycle. Yeah. And like Nicole had mentioned reading some of Christina's other books, but this was actually my first Christina Forrest book. Definitely a fan. So I look forward to reading some of her other books as well.
One of her books that I just read that was one of my favorites is her book is called Now That I've Found You. I really like that one a lot. Then my second one will probably be, I think it was called There's Someone For You. But they're YAs, but they're easy read. They're not, I won't even say they're easy reads, but the stories are so good that you don't even realize that they're YA stories. You don't realize at all. And she writes a lot, like the one Now That I Found You. I don't know when she wrote that, but it kind of takes a lot of today's technology on in the writing. Like the girl, she posts something on Instagram and it gets her banned, and it's just all types of stuff. But it's really, her writing, it's really, really good. I like it a lot.
Kind of reminds me of Elise Bryant. She's another one. I've read 2 of her books, but she writes YA and you can't really tell, like you don't feel like you're writing YA. It's really well written. Any other thoughts?
I don't know.
Question. I've got
Sure.
a question. Whoever just spoke, you said Now That I Found You. What's the second one that you mentioned?
I think that's for Nicole. I don't know if she's still.
Oh,
Yep, there she is.
I'm still on. I was twisting my hair. I Want to Be Where You Are.
Okay, thank you.
So she likes song titles for her books. Those 2 are song titles. That's Tina Marie and Jackson 5.
Right. Hilarious. Any other thoughts?
Good.
Okay. So what's everybody reading now?
I'm just happy that one book. I'm still trying to get my reading mojo back. So I'm just glad that I finished the book.
That's about to be me this month because I'm tapped out. I somehow read 10 books in the month of March. I have no idea how I did that. But yeah, I'm like, I can feel that I'm tired. TV is definitely taking is more of a priority right now.
I just finished Wade in the Water based on your
I
recommendation.
loved it. It was so good.
Yeah,
You like it?
I did. Yep.
Good.
In between,
There was a few of y'all on here that were reading Wade in the Water.
so good.
I gotta
Alicia, we
No,
cannot hear you if you were talking.
in between
I can see
watching,
you.
in between watching Love Is Blind, I'm reading The Perfect
Yes, Love is Blind has been watched. What did I just finish? It's was new on Netflix. It's The Night something.
Can you hear me
The
now?
night,
Say it again.
The Night
night-
Agent.
The Night Agent.
Yes, that was. I just
wa-
finished it right before we got on this. That was really
What-
good.
What is it called?
the volume.
So
Hold
Alicia
on.
was trying to talk. She was
Yeah.
asking if you could hear
She was
her.
asking if you can hear her.
I think she just logged off. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't see her on there anymore. It's The Night Agent is the name of the show. Really, really good. It just launched like maybe a week ago, and it's already been renewed for season 2 because it has such a great response. Yeah, Love is Blind is a TV show, and then of course all the stuff that comes on Wednesday nights, like does anybody, I don't know if any of y'all watch, like, are Bravo fans. But Vanderpump Rules, like that whole storyline and scandal,
I can't
that
wait to do you.
that is probably the biggest reality TV scandal I've seen in a while. So I've been following along with that. That comes on tonight. Married at First Sight comes on tonight.
That's
Can't
my
watch.
I'm a reality TV junkie, so there's a lot of stuff. But then there's also stuff that I just haven't watched in ages either that I need to catch up on too. So yeah, reading is taking priority this year, but I think that's going to calm down this month because I'm tired. I'm honestly tired. Like I'm 30% in a book and I've been reading it for 5 days. So
I'm
um,
reading. I'm trying to finish making it through Harlem Shuffle. For whatever reason, I'm listening to the audio and I keep rewinding and forgetting to listen and going
who's that
back.
by?
Colson Whitehead.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Harlem. Okay.
Yeah. I do like Colson.
I
We
don't
read
know.
it.
Everybody loved his Underground Railroad, and I was like, this book is so freaking weird.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. That's the only way to describe it. It was weird, but it kept me, I was intrigued.
You know,
Uh,
once you have reality and then you start having fantasy, this crazy stuff, I'm out. I'm out. I finished. But I'm like, where did this come from? If you're gonna do reality, do reality. If you're gonna do fantasy, and then I won't mess with it in the beginning.
Are you a fan of Kindred?
Of what?
Kindred by Octavia Butler.
I like Kindred. I like the series also. I like that. But I
Yeah.
hear it's canceled. So it's canceled.
Yep,
Wow.
it is. That just Octavia Butler kind of reminds me in a sense of Colson Whitehead. Like they were trying to do the same thing of the Underground Railroad and just the very sci-fi mixed in with slavery and things like that. It was very interesting twists. It's been so long since I've read the Underground Railroad though, but
Ta-Nehisi Coates, though, he said, because he had a little bit of magical realism in The Water Dancer. And the way he explained it, he said, we have to believe that there was some magic in those people, the things that they endured, the way that they escaped. He's like Harriet Tubman got 150 people.
right,
saved.
how?
He's like, how did she do that? He's like, I
Mhm.
have to believe they were magic. And I was like, you know what? I'm sold.
Yeah.
I will take it like that.
So did you
Well,
like
that-
Did I like what?
Jessica? Did you like that book?
The Water Dance, I loved it. I've read it twice.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I've read it once. It was a while ago, but yeah, I
I love
remember
it.
liking it too.
I also read that book. I think it was Asia who suggested to me. I think it was called When the Reckoning Comes. Too. That goes between like
I think that was Kim.
yeah.
Kim. Yeah.
That's a good one too. That kind of goes between like the fantasy and not a fantasy, but like the past and reality at the same time. And it's good.
That's
Good.
on my list, I think, to read this month. I have the ebook. I want to say maybe I have the audio or I can have easy access to it. But what's funny is I have a closet full of books. And the other day I was searching to see if I had a book before I bought it. And I opened the closet and that the physical copy of that book was right there. And I was like, didn't even know that I own this. It's kind of ridiculous. Publishers just send me stuff and I'm like, didn't even know that I own this. And I pulled it out of the closet. I was like, wow, had no idea. But y'all have been talking about that book. So I think that's going to be on my list. Talisha, and I don't know who else we're talking. Yes, I think we can hear you.
Okay, real quick, because I'm probably gonna cut off.
No
I don't know
problem.
if you guys said this, but did you guys say did anybody say they did not want Lily to get with Nick after she found out?
No, I don't think anybody said that actually.
Oh,
I know your son wasn't a fan.
yes, he did not want them to get back together. And I was like, well, that's part of the romance. Like, he doesn't really understand how these dramas work.
Yeah.
And
He could have done much worse, I'll say that.
yeah, I really felt kind of bad for Nick because I feel like he had real reasons and he just seemed like he went to some trauma.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just listening. Okay.
Yeah. I'm currently, what am I reading right now? Off the top of my head, I can't even, this is how distracted I get. It was one that Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby.
Yes.
I've never read one of his books before, so he's been on my list for a while. So
his books are great, and the guy who narrates them, you got to listen to it.
I'm listening. I'm doing both. Listening to both. I'm listening to it and following the ebook so I can get my Kindle credit each day. But yeah, Buddy Lee is something else, boy.
Yeah, Buddy Lee is something. Everybody in that book is something.
Yeah. Now I'm only like 37%, but yeah, it's good.
Finished The Darkest Prayer by him, and that one was good.
That one was good. Yeah.
Was that his most recent one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
His books are his books have some darkness in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, his books are great. I'm sold. I want all of them now.
Yeah. I just picture Buddy Lee like being like this little Santa Claus looking guy with this Southern accent and a shotgun, like this country guy with a pot belly. Like that's exactly what I see Buddy Lee as. I'm like, oh, this is hilarious.
What is the guy that used to be with
Buddy is
Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, you like him. Like you really start to like Buddy Lee.
Yeah.
You like, but he's a racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
is, but he seems like he tries to change. He seems like that's what he's always known and been taught, but then he tries to change later on. Yeah, that's a great. All his books are good, and I think I've listened to two.
I think him, and then I have Daniel Black on my list, but some library loans are coming through right now, so I'm just like, I kind of gotta work around those.
I have to finish this book, so I'm here for the fellowship, like I'm on probably chapter 2, baby.
We appreciate you.
But I do think, I'm not a romance reader, but I do think from the very beginning, I was like, oh, this is going to be cute. So
with the emails, right? The exchange.
Yeah. I was like, this is going to be cute. But I just read who I call Jessica's friend, Ebony K. Williams. I just read Bed on Black, and it is good.
Okay, all right.
I need to jump on that too.
Good.
I like her anyway.
I've been so behind. I've got so much going on, but I've been like nothing but my 2 book clubs and then a few in between there. So I need to figure something else out to maybe I'll go ahead and read Ebony's. I haven't read yet. Or S.A. Cosby, I need to read him too. But then my next book club is reading John Grisham. Oh my.
Ew.
What book club is that?
It's local.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask too. I used to love him back in the day.
I haven't read
said, go ahead.
It's probably still good. We'll see.
Vaughn said, I really enjoyed House of Eve. That's on my list for this month too, if I can get to it. Currently wrapping up The Neighbor Favor, Last Chance Dance. I've seen that book as well. And Strictly Friends by Frances Mensah Williams. Very cool. You've got a lot going on reading wise.
I'm reading Blacktop Wasteland. That's also S.A. Cosby.
Yep. Is that one good too?
Yeah, and he actually used the cop so far in that book too.
In the same story? Okay.
So that's good too. It's not similar, but the same premises.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Renee, you said something earlier. Wait, The Perfect Find is becoming a movie?
Yep. Gabrielle Union is starring in it. It's going to be on Netflix this summer, I think in June. It comes in May or June. It's coming either next month or sometime this summer. Tia actually had posted about it. Let me see. But but I'm going to reread it before it comes out again. I loved it the first time I read it.
It was
But
good.
yep, it's gonna be on Netflix.
I don't like
Perfect
Gabrielle
Fine.
Union in romance leads.
Well, I always think of her as the mean girl because that's what she played for the first like
Yeah.
7-8 years of her career. She was the mean girl in everything.
But it
Did
fits for the perfect find, I think.
Did anybody see The Inspection?
No.
Gabrielle Union is the she's the mother of a guy who's gay, and she is mean as hell to him.
Oh wow.
Real mean to him. Yeah. She plays
Wow.
the part, make you want to whoop her behind, but yeah.
What's the name of it?
The Inspection.
The
Yeah,
Inspection.
because I read both of her books back to back, and I liked how she talked about how most people in Hollywood didn't like her. And I want to hear some of the stories because I saw like Hollywood Talk, Claudia Jordan, and somebody else was on there talking about how she's so mean to people, and they were like calling out people that she's been mean to. And I'm like, oh, that's a good story. Somebody need to write that book. I want
Claudia
to
Jordan can't talk about anybody.
right.
Right, that part.
You said who can't
Exactly.
talk
Like
about
look at the
anybody?
source, right?
Claudia
Right.
Jordan.
Yeah.
The Perfect Find comes out June 23rd.
Oh, I'll be
So
done.
I will
before.
probably kick June off with that book.
Is it a movie or a miniseries?
Good question. It says film, but it's based on the book. I'm just reading up on it. The movie landed at Netflix, so a movie is what it seems like it's going to be. That should be good.
I've been on a Christina C. Jones kick, and so I kicked the Connecticut Kings series to the curb because I got tired of the Love Belvin, her books in that series. I hated her writing. So now I'm reading the Wright Brothers series, and I'm on the third book, Beneath the Rules.
I see Amy started Before I Let Go. I love that one. Blah, 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 blah.
I need to give that another shot. When I was trying to read it, I just could not. I don't know why. And
Erica didn't like
everybody
it either, but I enjoyed it.
maybe I need to download it on my Kindle so I can get my
What
credits.
year read? I know everything I read is strategically like has to be on my Kindle now. So that's
What do
how I'm
you
like.
mean? What do you
So
mean
there's
get credit?
there's a Kindle challenge that comes out every quarter. And a
Okay.
new one just started a few days ago for the second quarter. But like you're supposed to read every day, even if it's like a few pages, you get credit for that. But there's also like these little bookmarks, and you get like they have little challenges or little prompts that they ask you to do.
Okay.
And some of them, like for Women's History Month, they had like a list of books that you could read from, and you get credit for reading one of those books during Women's History Month. So they're just different little prompts, but I
It's
like it
keeping
because
me reading.
I buy all of these Kindle deals all the time, and now it's actually like making me read the books that I've already purchased. Like Sisters in Arms, bought that one randomly, and it actually happened to be one of the ones for Women's History Month, and it's probably a book I would have never gotten to otherwise, but did, and I actually loved it. And it actually was perfect because now Tyler Perry's producing that movie now that's based on those women. So
Kerry
that's
Williams, Kerry
yes,
Washington.
Kerry Washington. Trying to think of who else was in there because there's quite a few faces that I recognize. I just can't think of their names right now, but yeah.
It's
But
just
anyways.
making me read more, Bernadette. It's not. I don't get any. It just makes me be consistent. So
It does. I don't
Okay.
even, y'all can't see my
Okay.
TV, but yeah, it's got all these like little bookmarks, and you get like little rewards for, doing whatever the Kindle challenge of the month is.
Okay.
Is
All right.
making me read more in my Kindle, but now my physical books are piling up. I'm like, I got
exactly.
to clean it too.
See, I have duplicates of most everything, right? Because I prefer the e-reader. So, and a lot of my books do come from publishers where I don't have to pay for it. So it kind of works it. But I like to have the physical copy because when I actually post it to Instagram or TikTok, like it looks better visually for me to have. So I end up having 2 and 3 versions of the same book. It's a crazy problem to have.
But Jessica, I will tell you, finish before I let go. I tried to read other Kennedy Ryan books because I'm in this other book club, and the leader is like how some people obsess over Colleen Hoover. That's how she is with Kennedy Ryan. And I can't get into it. Like some of her books, I'm like, the covers is like, it's a love story, but then it's this white dude. And I'm like, I don't want to read about pink love. I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll be killing me.
Amen.
I can't get into her other books, but Before I Let Go was probably the only one of her books next to Real that I did truly enjoy.
Real is on my list to read at some point. I toyed with it being a book club read, but I don't think it will be. Yeah, but I definitely, it's high on my list of reads. What else are y'all reading?
That's it for me.
I know it's gonna be a slow reading month. Like I'll be surprised if I even get 4 books at this rate because I'm only about 38% in, and I'm tired. Like
I'm listening to, and I'm counting it, is that Finding Tamika. I'm like, well, if it's on Audible, it's a book.
It is. You gotta pay attention.
Yeah. No, I listen to audio books, but it's not there's no book. It's just an Audible.
Yeah.
I'm like, but
That's
it
a
shows
book.
up on Goodreads. So I'm like, it's a book.
I count those. I don't even listen if it's not on Goodreads. I'll just wait. I think that Jasmine Sullivan book, I sent something to Goodreads to add that, and I'm not listening to it until they add it.
Like, excuse me, Goodreads, I need you to get on it. Thanks.
You used to be able to create a book on Goodreads.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
think
do it
they
anymore.
took that away. I couldn't find it.
Is there who's into thrillers at all?
I'll read them.
Because Erica turned me onto this one person, Lori Ann White.
I wrote that down. I haven't looked at it yet.
She has me in a chokehold right now. Like anything this lady has written, I have gotten in my Kindle. And her books are like based on true stories too. But I said, whoever this woman is, I need to be her friend because this lady will be killing people and nobody's ever going to find her. Like she has to have some type of crazy in her head because these books are phenomenal good. But literally, I was looking around the corner at one point, like, I don't trust nobody. Like it was really good. She's a good, if you like a thriller, the first one Erica had me read was Beneath Devil's Bridge, and I was sold. I was sold after that.
What's her name?
Loran, Lorene White.
Okay. Because whatever I looked at first, I was like, y'all sure? Because it says proud white atheist and race traitor.
No.
I was like, wait. Okay.
I'm also reading White Smoke. That was my beach read that I was reading most of the time on the beach today, by Tiffany D. Jackson.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if that was a book club read, but I think I read that outside. I'm like, we've done Tiffany D. Jackson a couple times, but I'm like, I don't think. No, it was the Weight of Blood, because I was like, I know it was a thriller of hers that we did. Yeah, it was The Weight of Blood.
Throw in there, I was reading it on the beach. You didn't have to throw that in there. You was reading on the beach.
Right, she in the background. Turn your camera off right now. Don't want to see that. Hilarious. Live your best life. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I dragged my son off the beach. I was like, I have book club. Let's go.
Gotta get inside at least for an hour. Hilarious. I am excited. Y'all know Zora Neale Hurston is our next book club read. Their Eyes Are Watching God. I'm actually really excited to reread this one because I remember the first time that I read it and it was one of those books I wasn't meant to read it at that time. So I didn't enjoy it as much as I think I could have. Especially because I think I was coming off of, and it's hard to compare and like really consider this a romance because it's not, like, it's a weird twisted love story, but I think I had just come off of like a really good romance novel, and the timing of me reading it was just made this book not as enjoyable for me. So I'm hoping with growth and a few years of not having read it that I will understand this book a little bit better I didn't hate it. It just wasn't like what I expected it to be, I guess. It's the best way to say that.
So it was a 75th anniversary in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a different perspective.
Yep.
That's a totally different time period.
Yep. It is. And I think a lot of people from the reviews, like, they kind of glorify tea cake, and I just really wasn't feeling him like that. So I think that for me, a lot of the reading, I was just like, I didn't understand how people felt the way that they did about this book. And maybe it was more so how they felt about certain characters in the book. Because they do have an interesting relationship, but I'm excited to read it again and get a different perspective. So yeah, not reading anything right now, but just finished The Lost Apothecary. I can't even say that word. And Fake It Till You Bake It. That was a good one. We enjoyed that one as a book club too.
The Lost Apothecary is a good book. That was
Is
a good
it?
one. Yeah. That was a really good. And it was funny because when I was reading it, I read it right when they was like taking away all of the law, like trying to stop all the abortion laws and stuff. Because I was reading the book, it's about women like doing stuff to themselves to get what they. I was like, ooh, this was a right on time kind of book. It's a good book.
I was just gonna ask what kind of book that was.
Yeah, they listed it as historical fiction, but I mean it takes place back in the day, so who knows?
It was a really good read, easy read too. I think they did a good job, like you said, weaving in like the history, but making it exciting and tying it to today. So they follow 3 women, and how their lives are woven together. It was really good. I liked it.
Good. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Enjoyed it. No, this was a quick chat. Anything y'all are watching that's interesting before we wrap it up?
Snowfall.
Yeah, that's the show. Like I have that. What's the Shy? I still need to catch up on that.
Really? Yeah, catch up before that comes back on. It's not back on yet.
I know. I need
to start
this
this
last
season.
I need to catch up on that. Look, my camera's going crazy again. I know it. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm watching Bel Air.
Would you say you're watching what?
Bel Air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm caught up on that.
So
yeah.
You like
caught
it?
up on that. I do.
I love it.
I do. It's good.
It's like corny in comparison to the real one.
No, it's actually really good. I mean, it takes some adjustment with the characters because they look different from, the original, but it's actually really good.
And it's a drama.
And just watch one episode. You got to watch a couple of episodes and you'll fall for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the reimagined Jeffrey. That's
yes. Jeffrey is a boss.
He's cool.
He's a boss. Even like Abbott's Elementary, I'm so like far behind on that. Like,
are you watching Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip?
Yes. Yes, and they're in Thailand. Yes.
I watched Atlanta and Potomac, but I haven't watched the Girls Trip.
Oh, you should, because Candace and Giselle are on there, and then Portia's on there too.
Yeah.
Candace be clashing with Giselle and Portia. It's good.
And I'm sick of Giselle. I like Giselle the first season. I think I'm sick of her. And
she's messy. I don't like her either. I don't like those blue-eyed bandits. Get on my nerves now.
Yeah.
But
I want to like Robin because she's my
one episode or several.
It's several.
There's probably 4 now that are out because they launched the first 3. 5. Okay. They launched the first 3, and then I think it's been out for a couple of weeks. So yeah.
Just one trip.
It's called the Ultimate Girls Trip. What is it?
The Ultimate Girls Trip is like they select different housewives from seasons. Some of them aren't even on the Housewives anymore, but they put them all together on this fabulous trip, and then they all kind of just what happens.
Drama.
Because they don't like each other. So why are they doing that? Like, how does that flow? Or they act like they like each other and create.
It starts off with them liking each other, but then the drama just kind of unravels.
But you could tell that because Portia and Giselle do a lot of their confessionals together. And I think Portia looked at Giselle and said, "You're not going to be sitting next to me looking a hot mess." Because Giselle looks beautiful. in her confessionals this time. I said Portia put her
Yeah,
name
like
on
she
her.
got a stylist.
Yes, she gave her a style.
Giselle from
I just needed one for the whole time.
Giselle from the View.
She's
Giselle
from
from
Potomac.
Yeah, from
huh?
Potomac.
She's from Potomac.
That was
No.
married to
All right.
Yeah, Jamal Bryant.
Paul Bryant.
Pastor
Yeah.
Jamal Bryant.
Has anybody read Giselle's book that she wrote?
No.
Mm-mm.
Hers is like, it's fiction, right?
Yeah.
I think
I
I think it was mentioned in the group like years ago when it came out, but I don't think at the time anybody had read it. I need to. But Giselle's getting on my nerves right now, so.
Somebody watching
I
SWV?
just finished
Oh,
watching.
yes. Go ahead, Bernadette.
I just finished binge watching Yellowstone. It was really good. I've seen it advertised and people talking about it, and I
Yep.
finally had to go through all the seasons. So it was really good.
That's on my list, but however, I don't want to start anything new or long like that until I get through all of these little shows that I need to catch up on. Like Snowfall, I'm still like 2 seasons behind. Like, yeah. Well, not okay, so not the current season, but I still need to watch last season. So more
You gotta
like
catch up because the spoilers are out there.
that. Yeah. Oh, I've already seen people post it on their timeline, so I know it comes. What's the other one with Tay Diggs? American.
Oh, that's good. All American.
I gotta finish that. I gotta catch
And
up
All
on that.
American Homecoming.
I think I'm like
stay
a
caught up
season.
on those two.
Yeah, I know there's more spoilers in that too. So I'm like a
Yeah.
season and a half behind on that too. So there's a lot that I
Stay
need to
caught
like
up
catch
on
up.
that one. On
Yeah.
those both. That one and
Yeah.
Homecoming.
So I'll prioritize those. Like I think reading is gonna happen less. Like I might do 2 to 3 books a month and get more TV in there, because 10 is just ridiculous. I don't know how people do that. I will probably never do that again in life.
Did you not look at TV at all to get 10 books? How did you
I
get
did look at TV, but I was doing this hard 75 challenge from January 1st for the first 75 days of the year. And so it requires you to read 10 pages a day. However, I took that a little bit further. And in my mornings, I would read like before I got the kids up, listen to my audiobook while I was getting lunches and things together. And then I would read for like another hour and a half until my daughter goes to school. So I was getting in about anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours a morning of reading, which is why I was able to like knock out books. But now I'm just like, I'm tired. I can't do that anymore. So I was watching TV, but my rule was I couldn't watch TV until after I dropped her off from school and I got back home at 10:30. So then I would watch TV, but I would have to read for those first, from 6:30 till 9:30, I would read a good chunk between that time. And it kind of works. So, and then of course in the car as well. But yeah, I'm tired now.
Gotta do when your priorities change, and that's okay.
Yeah. I feel like, my goal was 12, and so I've hit that. If I never read a book for the rest of the year, I'm good. So it's all good. Well, thank you, ladies. It's been a fun chat. I know it was a short one with the book, but it was a cute little novel. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. But yeah.
I gave
Thanks.
it 5 when I think of, because I don't like romance. So I gave
Yeah.
it 5 for romance, but 4 overall.
Yeah. There were some parts that irked me, and it was mostly Nick. I think the Nick waiting so long when he had so many opportunities, because I felt like had he said it so much sooner, we wouldn't have had this big blow up of everything that happened. And I was just like, why are you dragging this on? You know what's going on. You're dating this girl, you're messing with her. Like, just tell her, because we know that this is gonna blow up in your face at some point, and it did. So I feel like had he told her, that would have made it better for me. But every book has to have that turbulence in there.
The tension and the
like,
oh my gosh, as soon as you saw them touching her foot, come on.
Right, you knew. And the cat, the damn
cat.
the damn cat. You knew what it was.
Yeah.
He had that old shit moment.
The author did what she had to do to make it that many pages.
Yeah, she did. She
was right on time. I'm telling her, she had 5 more pages. I was about to be like, I'm done with this book.
Right. Like, let's get on with it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that part, but I don't know. I did feel like when he went home, I was like, this is kind of like extra. I don't know. I felt like we could have gotten to where they got to without him having to
Go home and
Yeah,
relive his past.
tell his
Yeah.
mom, and I was like, okay. But
Well,
I did like it. I like
that's for her preparing us, I guess, for her other books if she spreads out on different characters.
Yes. No, him going to his parents. I was like,
Oh, okay, to North Carolina.
okay, your
Yeah.
dad's in the
We could
hospital
have
because
read his mind when he was thinking about it, and we would have been good.
Is she saying something or is
No, it's glitching. I'm not saying nothing. Listen, Netflix and I about to fight for real because this has happened the last couple times. So I don't know what's going on with their service. You know, they hacked my account a couple months ago. Someone spent like $200 and something. I was not happy, but Zoom and I finna fight. Yeah,
Wow.
I just kept the camera off because every time I turn it on, it's glitchy. So, anyways, I will let you guys go who watch Married at First Sight because I know it's almost show time.
I think I'm behind though. I'm not gonna watch. I need to watch the last one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch something else, but they're kind of boring, these couples, because nobody really makes it with these things anymore, right? On Married at First Sight. So I'm actually more interested in Love is Blind because those couples have more potential to go somewhere.
I need to catch up on that.
Yeah, this season's pretty good. It's pretty good. So
I need to catch up on Wu-Tang. They're on episode 10 tonight.
oh Lord, look.
I started this new season.
What is it called? Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang, yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a series on Hulu, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's in the third season. I think this is the final season, of season 3. And I think Method Man is my boyfriend. So
yeah.
My goodness. Okay. I've got catching up to do.
Yeah, same. So y'all have a good night. Thanks for joining, especially Talisha.
Bye,
Enjoy the rest of your spring break. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.